What's up, MMA fans? It's Tudor from Sherdog here, and right now I have the pleasure to talk with Bellator MMA heavyweight contender, Mr. Tyler Fortune. How are you, sir?
I'm doing good, man. Just waking up this morning, getting ready to go to practice, get some more training
in. What have you been up to recently, sir?
Training, getting ready for this fight, just getting myself mentally, physically in the best shape I can to put myself in the best position for this fight.
And where are you training right now?
I train at Arizona Combat Sports with Trevor Lally and Steve Rosenberg.
You are scheduled to collide with Matt Mitrione at Bellator 255 on April the 2nd. I am sure, actually, that you know pretty well your upcoming opponent. Is that correct?
Yes. We've trained together before. We've known each other for a while now.
Is there anything that you would like to share with us about when you two were training together?
Well, this was in 2014, 2015, back when I was just getting out of college, wrestling on the USA team. I hadn't even signed my contract to Bellator yet, so I had no foot in the game at all. I was just a guy filling in for a wrestling coach while the Black Zillions were transitioning from Kenny Monday to Greg Jones. And so it was just, I got, very one-on-one detail in his camp specifically, and other guys, and Rashad Evans and guys like the bigger guys, because I was the bigger wrestling coach out there. So, no, it just makes you a little bit more comfortable, a little bit more comfort going into the fight, knowing that I've trained and wrestled with the guy before, and that's about it.
Do you remember any of the fights you helped him to prepare for?
No, I he wasn't even in Bellator at the time. He was still in the UFC.
Yeah.
So I'm not too sure on. I don't even remember who he was getting ready to fight at that time.
Yeah. No worries. But so, given that you know him pretty well, he does know you. Or at least he has some memories of how you were back then. What do you expect from him in your upcoming fight?
Well, I mean, he can't. I don't think there's much information for him to pull off of the past, because I didn't fight then. So I was just learning how to throw punches from his coach while I was there helping them wrestle. I didn't even put on gloves. It was like the first time he putting on boxing gloves and hitting mitts and things like that. So I don't think there's much information for him to really pull off from there, because I wasn't a fighter at the time. For me, it just gives me more comfort, like I said, just to know that, I've seen his game before. I know the holes in his game plan because I talked to the coaches and worked on it with him. Hey, like these are the positions that you're not so good in. This is what you need to work on. He doesn't have that for me because I wasn't a fighter, So
yeah.
He's never been able to see what the coach say. Hey, well, Tyrell, you're bad at these things. All he can do is analyze my past fights and then go from there.
Can I ask what's your prediction on how the fight is going to end?
I predicted with me winning. To say I could tell you how a fight's going to go, I think that's kind of bizarre. But I just know I'm going to press the positions that I know he's uncomfortable in. I'm going to put a lot of pressure on from the start. I know he likes to try to take the center, so I'm predicting that we're going to collide very fast, because we're both going to fight for that center spot really early. And so how it goes from there, I have no idea.
The Bellator rankings are about to come out. What do you think that your position in the heavyweight division is going to be?
You like where my ranking will be?
Yeah.
I think I will be anywhere from 9 to 12. Anywhere in that range. I think I have more fights than more than half the roster that's been there, at least in Bellator. We have a lot of new talent and young guys coming into the weight class and veterans. So I think I'm right there in the mix of top 15, top 10 maybe. It just depends on how they decide to ranking and why they decide to give guys certain rankings for what. So I'm not too sure. Honestly, I think I don't really care too much. It just gives me more motivation to know, like, okay, I want to fight this guy next. No other reason but, okay, my number says 9 and yours says 8. And I want to be number 8 and not number 9 because it gives me one closer to being the champ. So I think as a fighter, that's all it does for me is motivate me and know, like, okay, these are my targets. These are the guys I got to watch right now because that's who I hope to fight next or in the next couple of fights. That's about it.
Do you believe that Timothy Johnson, whom you faced recently, is going to be ahead of you?
100%. He's after he beat me, he went on a tear. He beat Mitrione. He beat who else did he fight? Did he fight Congo? I think he fought Congo.
Yeah, he fought
Congo. So yeah, I think he's the next guy. He's the next guy in line for the heavyweight title. So he's definitely got to be in front of me. I think there's only a few guys that really make sense to be in front of me: Linton, Vitali, Sergey, maybe even Javier Lala. He's had more fights, put more fights in with bigger names. Besides those guys right there, I don't really see who else could have an argument to say that, they should be in front of me. Besides those few, those guys, then I'm not too sure. I don't look at it too much, but, obviously Bader being the champ too. And then, so I don't know. I think that's not my job. My job is to beat people up.
Yeah, of course. Let me just reformulate that question. Do you feel that with a victory, you would be closer to get a rematch with Mr. Johnson? Is that something that you wish for? Given that he inflicted you your only loss on your record so far.
100%, I think, because he beat Matt after he beat me, so it's like a little roadmap to get to Tim. I got to beat everybody he beat. I feel like, So Tim, I think fighting Matt just puts me one step closer, and that's fighting Tim Johnson is the only fight I want, regardless, even if he's champ or not. That's who I want to fight. So it doesn't nothing else really matters to me.
Given the current COVID-19 situation, how easy is for you, to train, to find the sparring partners? Has that affected in any way your camp so far?
No, not even more so, less now because Arizona's opening back up. Their COVID restrictions are going down. The cases are going down. I would say in 2020 there was more of a little hold up with just people being more cautious about working out and training with people. So it was a kind of a hold up and mix up with that. And, just the mental, physical of like, hey, we're locked in and we can't go anywhere. We can't do anything. So it was kind of just like a all around stress that everybody was feeling. And it was kind of rubbing off on everybody because no one could say that they went through that unaffected. And so now I don't know. Now it has no play on my camp. My camp has been great. My workouts have been the best I think they've been in a while. And no, I'm just really excited now to get back in the cage.
It's good to hear that your camp is going pretty well, and also obviously it's pretty good to hear that Arizona is opening up and the situation is improving over there. But listen, on the same card you're going to fight, the main event of that card is going to be Patricio Pitbull Freire against Emmanuel Sanchez with the featherweight belt on the line. Can I ask your pick for that fight? Who's your pick for that fight?
I like Patricio for that fight. I think he's on the money right now. His game is at as best as it's been, and he's a humble guy. He doesn't really talk too much unless you provoke him to defend himself. And I feel like, but he definitely he's definitely my pick for that fight.
Before I let you go, do you have any last messages to share with us and with your fans?
No, man, no last messages. You follow me on Instagram at Fortune Over Fame, Fortune_over_fame. Other than that, no, man, excited to get back in the cage. Thank you for having me on the show. Thank you for the interview. That's it.
I'm the one who has to thank you for your time, sir. And I really appreciate it. And I wish you best of luck with your upcoming fights.
Thank you.
Have a nice one. Goodbye.
You too. Have a good one.